We move now away from the common and head into town along Congleton Road, where we see the new mini roundabout at the junction of High Street and High Town. On the right is the Swan and Checkers, with Dennis Peaver and Sons, the gentlemen's outfitters, next door. In the centre is the ever-present closed-circuit television camera, typical of our modern way of life. The scene from 1908 is not so much different. In fact, the buildings have changed very little. The monument in the middle was erected in memory of Dr. Charles Latham, an eminent member of the town who died in 1907. If we go a little further along High Town, we see the Literary Institution on the right. The building, opened in 1857, is of brick with stone dressings and is built in the English Gothic style. The architect was George Gilbert Scott, later to become Sir George, and the builder was Samuel Fareham. The cost was about £2,700, the majority of that being contributed by local inhabitants. The building has remained virtually unchanged in over 100 years, but a recent restoration has provided modern access standards whilst maintaining the original features. The building is now the home of Sandbach Town Council. On completion of the building, the ground floor was given over to the Literary and Scientific Institute, a reading room and library, and a corn exchange. The large room upstairs was intended for concerts, balls, and public meetings. Also in this photograph can be seen a fine stone fountain with paired Doric columns and a domed top. It was a gift to the town by Lord Crewe, and is now, surrounded by plants, the centrepiece of a traffic roundabout. On the opposite side of the road is the Wheatsheaf Hotel. This was built in 1890 by the Right Honourable Hungerford, Lord Crewe, and, like the town hall, was built of local handmade bricks and stone dressings, together with some black and white gables. The architect was Thomas Bower, and the builder, John Stringer. The Wheatsheaf was a coaching inn, as is evidenced by the steel protective plates on the archway and the former stables at the rear. Whilst this building dates from 1890, there was another of the same name at the top of the town, as High Town was called. The Nettle stagecoach travelled between Nantwich and Manchester, and called at the Wheatsheaf twice a day. This photograph shows a horse-drawn bus standing outside, which was employed to transport people to and from the railway stations in Elworth and Wheelock. For a number of years now, the Wheatsheaf has been the meeting place for the Rotary Club of Sandbach, as well as a number of other organisations. The Town and Market Hall was built on land again given by Hungerford, Lord Crewe. The architect, as for the Wheatsheaf later, being Thomas Bower of Nantwich. This was Sandbach's third town hall. The previous two, as we shall see later, were located on the square. The town hall is designed in the early Gothic style, and here we see it just 5 years after it had been built by John Stringer, using handmade local bricks. Some properties were demolished to make way for the new building. There was a pub, the Crewe Arms, and a house in the area where the town hall tower now stands. This was occupied by the Peaver family. The original gas-illuminated clock was presented by Mrs. Jane Court of Wheelock House, in memory of her relatives, the Peavers. Across from the town hall, we currently see Chatwin's, Wellesby's Photographics, Blockbuster Video Store, and William R. Shoes. In 1978, we still had Chatwin's and Wellesby's, but Rumberlow's was next door. To the left of Chatwin's, Hastings and Thanet Building Society, Dewhurst the butcher's, and then Boots the chemist. The traffic calming measured in those days were sets of traffic lights. In 1908, Wardle's, the family draper and silk merchant, owned most of this block. They stocked the latest novelties in dress fabrics, and their advertising slogan, and again I quote, "Every requisite for family mourning."